Hey Pisces, July 2020 horoscope. Will the full moon and lunar eclipse in Capricorn on July 4th help you come to some important conclusions? They should. The practical energy of this earthy lunation grounds you and helps you make the decision you've been hesitant to make in the past few weeks. A Chiron retrograde cycle in fiery Aries begins on the 11th, which should finally help you understand help you stand not understand help you stand up for yourself regarding an unresolved situation from the past. If you've always believed you were at fault, some serious soul searching will help you understand that you're not the only one to blame. Let this healing energy wash over you and cleanse your soul. Mercury goes direct while in fellow water sign Cancer on July 12th, which should help clear up some misunderstandings that have been bothering you lately. If you lost touch with someone you really miss, reach out to them. Being the first to offer an olive branch isn't a sign of weakness. Mercury trines your home planet Neptune while it's traveling through your sign on the 13th, stimulating your creativity and imagination. Your dreams and daydreams can be productive now if you focus on getting the answer to a question. Signs and symbols from your subconscious are everywhere. Cosmic, spiritual, intellectual, physical, social, and emotional aspects of the self for Pisces in July of 2020. We got Two of Swords for your spiritual, Seven of Swords for your intellectual, King of Pentacles for your physical, Four of Cups for your social, and Three of Wands for your emotional. With the Two of Swords here in your spiritual, referencing from this deck has to do with balance through understanding, peace. So take time out in your spiritual life and do some reflecting. Look at her. She's just kind of like contemplating things. It's in the middle of the night. The moon's out. You got this kind of swampy area here. So you're kind of like looking at things from maybe your lower aspect of yourself. You need to more take that time out and be like more peaceful time with your faith or your spiritual aspect of yourself, and see how you can maybe realign with the higher self and see where you're at for next month. The Seven of Swords here in your intellectual self, referencing inconstant behavior, consciously defining a goal. So you're like reassessing things in your life and how you're thinking about things in July. Maybe you're going to go through some, I've had enough, moving on, leaving these thoughts behind, moving forward away from these placed swords that you've had. Swords also could reference words that you've had. So just moving away from that, but I would be a little bit careful and check out what else is coming in the reading and see what this really means for you in July. King of Pentacles here, referencing the physical aspect with diligence or possibly using any means to achieve the desired end. So be a little bit careful in your diet or whatever you're trying to do with your physical aspect of yourself. Double check, triple check what you're going to do with your physical self. Just keep things aligned with what your gut is telling you, because that's what really defines how your physical self is going to play out. Your gut knows the most about what's best for your body. The Four of Cups here is referencing the social aspect with stationary period in life or new relationships. So, contemplating once again directly relating to intellectual, possibly, or even the Three of Wands here with the social or emotional aspect. You're kind of like maybe missing an opportunity in your social aspect of yourself with keeping the same people that you have in your social community or your whatever part of your life with the social, and you're going to miss an opportunity of a new person in your life that's going to help you. So you may have to break ties with somebody or some people that you've been with in your life. Friends come and go, people come and go. Unfortunately, I know that can be hard for Pisces. They like to hold on to things sometimes for longer than they need to with relationships. So be aware of how you're missing out on potential greater or better things because you're just sitting there with time going by and not getting out and venturing with new relationships. With the Three of Wands and your emotional aspect, reference to success through self-confidence and preventing confrontations. So this may be why you're kind of just sitting there in the Four of Cups with your social aspect of yourself. But don't let this prevent you from getting a new relationship that is probably really going to benefit you in July. Don't be sit there and try to manifest something without actually going out and doing it. Even though, because this is just your emotional aspect of yourself, right? The emotional aspect isn't going to really do anything unless you do some action with it. If you just sit here in the emotion and hope for these flowers to come up, yeah, that's good for your heart, but it's not going to last. These flowers will wilt away if they're not used for something like creating maybe some kind of remedy or some kind of perfume or something. You have to connect to your social aspect as well with this. You can't just sit here and feel good about not going out and because of your past you think it's going to happen again. It only happens again in a vicious cycles of not connecting with the spiritual aspect and the intellectual aspect, the whole circle here, and getting a beautiful harmonious self with all these aspects of the self. So while this is good, it's not necessarily a bad thing. You can't just sit there and do nothing with this. You have to put it to use. Epic, spiritual, intellectual, physical, social, and emotional aspects of the self for Pisces in July of 2020. Unicorn of Books for the spiritual. Ace of Chalices for the intellectual. Unicorn of Spheres for the physical. Five of Swords for the social. Nine of Chalices for the emotional. The Unicorn of Books has to do with separating yourself from emotional triggers or intellectual prejudices and look with fresh eyes and see the potential in spiritual aspects. So this is kind of like saying, hey, everything you think is good for your spiritual aspect of yourself, you might have to go venture out to new areas to incorporate in your spiritual aspect of yourself and think a little more broadly and open your mind to things. The Ace of Chalices is all about reconnection with the divine, harmonious aspects of the universe. And that's why you're kind of like moving away from maybe you're like, oh well, what if who cares what I've done? I gotta find this new overflowing cup of divine purpose and finding who I am, getting more insight into my soul and what I'm supposed to do. The unicorn of spheres here, it has to do with pure energy of life can restore us to life when we feel empty. So, I mean, this King of Pentacles and getting that, the connected to the intellectual and the spiritual, what it said, doing that diligence and doing the hard work, then investing in your time into what your gut is telling you, because your gut is connected to all other parts of who you are. So connect, find out more, maybe do some more research about your body type, your blood type, combination of all those things, and get your body into a harmonious connection. The Five of Swords here has to do with forgetting there is no absolute truth. Just because you're presented with a version of truth doesn't mean you have to accept it. So this is in the social aspect of yourself. The truth that you know and you're dealing with in July has getting you to be sitting here thinking, oh, I'm just going to sit in my emotions. I'm just going to sit here and do me because I'm a Pisces. And I'll just let things pass over this month. And that's not the truth. The absolute truth. That's not the absolute truth of what is really going on. Especially with the other cards in the reading I've been talking about. You need to move away. You need to take that flight. Jump away from where you are and go explore and find that new relationship that you need to connect with. The Nine of Chalices out of this deck is getting just enough of for what you didn't need to survive or to get by, but this is in the emotional aspect of yourself. So this is telling you just do it enough to get you through what you're dealing with in July, and get out and go find that new relationship or the new spiritual connections and research and finding out the broader aspects of life for you and your divine purpose, and get out away from that emotional hermit at home. Universal fantasy, spiritual, intellectual, physical, social, and emotional aspect of the self for Pisces in July of 2020. Spiritual, you have Two of Cups. Empress for intellectual. The Sun for physical. Five of Pentacles for social. And the World for emotional. The Two of Cups here is all about seeing yourself and others in yourself, with the Unicorn of Books referencing taking that new path or going out and getting that other things inclusive to your life that aren't currently in your life, that there's other information or truths or whatever out there to look for. And the Two of Swords sitting there in the swamp, when the answers aren't going to just be here sitting or floating up for you, you're going to have to get some spiritual awakening going on and momentum, and develop that spiritual aspect of yourself a lot more than you currently have. The Empress here out of this deck is talking about being grounded, and it'll take you further than you've been before. That the Ace of Chalices connecting to that divine purpose and moving away from your past or what you've done, or getting on with the intellectual self and not contemplating too much on what's behind you and moving forward to the High Priestess, the Moon, the other aspects of your mind and what is going on inside your head. The sun here has to do with being honest with those around you or in your life, and finding those who are going to love and be on the positive side of getting out and getting your physical aspect of yourself in benevolent or better for, better for you or beneficial to your health. Get that gut check you need. Unicorn spheres, getting to the place of wholeness, connecting body, mind, and spirit. That's what the gut is, at the base of all that. It's like your root of your tree of who you are. Your heart and your mind get its nutrition from the digestion in your gut and what it needs to continue. So get that gut check. Do the investing and of your time into your physical aspect, working on it, and get that diligence. Keep it going so you can have that healthy lifestyle you're looking for. Five of Pentacles is about recognizing the imbalance of equal share, or somebody taking more than they should, or somebody not getting their fair share. And then the Five of Swords telling you move away from that. That's what's going on behind this dude with all these swords in his wings. He's about to take off and go fight and leave these two things behind. He's like, peace. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this. This has caused this. For me to sit here and be all in that, holding my head down, oh, poor me kind of attitude, because if things aren't fair, I'm not getting my fair share in life, my piece of the pie. So you got to do something about it. You got to take flight, build those wings with your words. See, swords are words. Without an S, it's words. So get those new relationships going. Build your new foundations of your social aspect of yourself, Pisces. The world is kind of like the higher self looking down and kind of like seeing itself as bigger, and not necessarily like I'm gonna squash you, but more like, oh, I'm looking down at the world, right? With the Nine of Chalice is telling you you're gonna get just enough as you need, and you're sitting here with your emotions and being all harmonious, maybe meditating or having a good self medicure or pedicure or whatever on your emotional aspect of yourself, not necessarily physical. So this is a metaphor I'm talking about. But go out, get to that higher self, connecting to your spiritual aspect, your social aspect. Get the people in your life that are going to show you the new things that you need in your spiritual aspect and give you those new relationships you're looking for. And then you'll have just enough of this. You don't need to sit here and do this the whole month. You'll get enough, just enough to get by, like maybe 5 minutes a day or whatever. Try to minimize it. Don't sit there and do this your whole month. It's gonna be a problem. Get that higher self moving. Even though you may be looking down on the world, get moving and seeing new other parts of the world you haven't seen before. Even though we can't really travel, I'm talking about your emotional perception, not your physical self moving out. So not physically, I'm talking emotionally here. Get out and see other relationships that'll help you with your spiritual aspect of yourself. Foxfire, the Kitsune, what message do we have for Pisces in July of 2020? Sharing your wisdom. There will soon be opportunities for you, dear one, to share your wisdom with others. This wisdom is timeless, but it has come about because of your experience and your knowledge, gathered over lifetimes. It is simple and distilled, uncomplicated, and without the desire to seem grand or mystical. It is the kind of wisdom that grandmothers and grandfathers who have traveled close to the veil for a very long time can pass along. It is not resigned, nor is it fierce. There is a calm to it, and a value to it that is precious beyond words. Within this life, friend, you have walked with dragons, loved and lost, been cast out and risen again and again to so many challenges. Now, as you grow older in years, you can mentor and share, guide and teach, kindly and without ego or the need to impress the others who wish to know how to navigate the dark forests of this lifetime. Take your time and speak with those who need help. Share with those who are ready to listen. Keep the magic of the world alive by sharing your belief in the energetic realms and helping others understand that beyond what can be seen with the eyes are powerful ones dwelling just as the edges of our earthly experience, the old ones, the dragons among them. When you share and teach, this dragon will come to you to help you find the words, to help you find the right moment, to tell the right story. Fear not that no one wants to hear your words. They are needed, and your stories will be valued and shared and change the lives of those they touch. Speak now and let the others listen, for you have walked between the worlds, and we long to hear the stories of your adventures. Queen of the Moon, what message do you have for Pisces in July of 2020? Fruition. As the seasons turn, there is always a time when all the potential of the spring beginnings is manifest. The crops grow tall and are ready to harvest, and they have done this from a fallow field into which we have planted seeds. The trees have flowered, and now there is a fruit to pick. It is time for the harvest. I welcome the joyous fruition of all the intentions I set. When we are able to bring something to fruition, whether it be planting a project or a change in ourselves, it is the perfect time to celebrate all that we are grateful for and to mark our achievement. We may have worked very hard to bring this new situation into reality. We may have been patient in the way we have worked overtime and sacrificed much to make it happen. The harvest moon is the time to be happy about our success and to share it with others. Our ancestors would dance and sing and have community festivals of thanks, all to celebrate the fruition of all that hard work and to thank the gods for their assistance, or God. These times of high energy are also time to really focus on your body, as they can be quite taxing on our systems. If we don't take care, it is often the time we can get ill. This moon normally falls on the moon closest to the autumn equinox in the northern hemisphere. Companion stone or metal, garnet. Keepers of the Light, who has a message for Pisces in July of 2020? Saint Germain. Karma releasing. Move beyond drama. Create your own path. Make room for good energy. Saint Germain was born in France in the 18th century and is said to have been given a new identity because he was the love child of two very powerful people. He was well educated and able to rub shoulders with royalty. He was also deeply interested in magic, alchemy, and the cosmos, and able to perform real-life miracles and turn lead into gold. Now he helps us move beyond social limitations to connect with the right people for the highest good. He's still a master alchemist and able to help us turn whatever is leading in our life into something that is golden. His twin flame is Lady Portia, and he is the keeper of the violet flame, the powerful etheric retreat where we can release karma. Karma is the spiritual law of cause and effect. We experience many levels of karma. Some we inherit from our family and some from the people we keep helping out of the problems they keep creating. Saint Germain is here now to clear your energy so that you no longer have the weight of the world or your loved one's world on your shoulders. Be aware that an old pattern is leaving your life and creating space for something more loving to enter. Visualize yourself surrounded by a fiery violet cloak to release all the karma you no longer need. Sacred power for Pisces in July of 2020. Source. Surrender fear with the power of prayer. Miracles can happen now. As a source of comfort and hope, prayerful thoughts strengthen your faith in life and divine consciousness. Life isn't always happiness and joy. Experiencing sadness and sorrow is a part of life. Turning to prayer during times of trouble and darkness opens pathways for the divine will to act on your behalf. The power of prayer can be accessed by anyone, anywhere, at any time. When positive energy exists within and around us, it can help us balance any physical or mental condition. Divine Source speaks to us through prayer when we truly surrender our fear and open our heart to pure love. People tend to turn to prayer only in times of trouble. In fact, they should offer prayer even in good times to show gratitude and thanks for the blessings they have received. A continued flow of divine surrender opens us to new possibilities while increasing our strength on a spiritual level. Have faith. The ascended masters in heavenly realms will respond in divine deliverance if you surrender your heart to receive. By being open to the work of miracles, you allow universal synchronicities to bless you in abundance. Prayer helps your mind and body to become one. Divine communication is strong right now. Messages from loved ones, angels, ascended masters, and divine source are brought to you now. Pay attention to thoughts, feelings, and impressions you receive during the after prayer. Invoke your spiritual power and blessing from heavenly hosts and deities by surrendering your faith with an open-hearted routine prayer. The power of prayer is strengthened by your spiritual state. Mantras open doors for divine communication. Using a prayer or dharma wheel brings purification and value to your heart's request. Right now, pray for the miracle you need. You're being divinely assisted. From the light of God that I am, I clear and open the way for divine miracles. I surrender my heart to 100% pure light consciousness. I embrace divine will through love and faith. Divine Circus, which oracle has a message for Pisces in July of 2020? Brilliant Virgin. In a world where we are bombarded daily with differing opinions and ideas, remaining true to you and your own point of view is nothing short of brilliant. Let go of confusion, distortion, comparison, and compromise. You do not need to compare yourself to another or measure up to anyone or anything else. What matters to you and your successful life journey is to be in touch with your own truths. You know what you feel no matter what anyone else says or believes. Stay true to you. We need to be bold of heart and have a lot of faith when there is an idea within us yet to be manifested in the world. We have to trust in what we see in our hearts, even if sometimes the eyes in our heads see things rather differently. We have to trust that the inner vision, the hope, the dream within us is going to be strong enough to stand the rigors of birth and be able to come to life in the world. Sometimes we have to trust that we are enough and that we have goodness, value, and worth. And so are worth the time, effort, patience, and commitment required to transform our ideas into realities. The Oracle of the Brilliant Virgin brings you a message. Stay true to you and your course. Do not allow yourself to be swayed by another, no matter how well-meaning their intentions may be or how impressive their arguments may seem. You see, now, feel, believe in something that is good, pure, and true that needs to come to life in this world. It is meant to be original, so people may not get it straight away. It is meant to happen through you because you understand it in a way that others may not. This could be a choice to do with health, lifestyle, relationships, money, or work. It could be also a project, an idea, a creative expression, dream, or vision that you are growing in your heart. There are times when it's wise to open up to creative collaboration and to compromise for a group venture to move ahead. This is not one of those times. Don't be afraid. Some people believe that unless you compromise, success cannot happen. This is not true for you at this time. Do not water down the strength of your vision, your dream. You are meant to be birthing something unique into being. The world needs your originality. Pray for courage. Trust yourself. Wisdom of the Oracle. What message do we have for Pisces in July of 2020. Truth be told, honesty, accepting things at face value, coming out of denial, the willingness to be transparent, clarity of communication. There is the truth, which is the essence of a thing, and then there is a truth, subjective according to the philosophy of the adherent or believer. There is not a time for debate about which truth is truer. This is a time when you are called to proclaim your truth out loud and be willing to be transparent, honest, and open in your communication with others and with yourself. Nothing less than surrender to what is. Peeling off the layers of denial that kept you tied into an illusion will set you free. Be authentic and glorious, flawed, and spirit will answer with miracles. Relationship message. People tell you who they are very quickly if you're willing to listen to what they say and pay attention to how they behave. This card calls you to engage in heartfelt, open conversation. It's time to see the truth about what you share with each other and tell the truth about who you are and what you need. No one can do that for you. Remember that your truth is always based in your personality and experience up to now. A higher truth will be found after you communicate honestly and see how doing so has helped you become more attuned to yourself. Don't hold back, speak your truth, and listen. Prosperity message. Are you willing to do whatever it takes to experience the prosperous life you desire? If you want to be an artist, do you make your art a priority? If you want to be a healer, do you set time aside to learn new things to help you serve? A writer must write and a singer must sing. Being true to your calling is essential to your moving forward. There's another oracle message here too. It's time to have a look at the real, honest truth about your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs about prosperity, about your relationship to money, to compensation, and to meaningful work. Ask yourself, what is true for me? And you will find the key to abundance. Protection message. Where are you being dishonest with yourself or others? If you're unhappy in any area of life, look for signs of denial. This can also pertain to others being misleading or withholding or acting from hidden agendas. Now is the time to say no to dishonesty in all forms. Ask for the truth. Even if you don't like what you hear, acknowledging it will be key to a beautiful new future where you no longer labor under the heavy burdens that deceit and denial impose on you. Set yourself free. Nothing less than the truth is required now. Cosmic message for Pisces in July of 2020. Surrender. Surrender to what is, let go of what was, have faith in what will be. If you have picked this card, you are being guided to surrender. Surrender your worries, burdens, and control over outcomes, and just be with life in this present moment. By surrendering, you allow life to move forward naturally as it should. Resisting the natural cycles of life only causes anguish, frustration, and feeling of constant struggle. Dear one, stop persisting in swimming the other way. When you push against life, life pushes back, and what you resist most will continue to exist in your life. Do you feel perplexed by fall of autumn leaves? No, for there is trust in the natural cycles of birth, death, and rebirth. We too experience these cycles, however, most of us live in a state of unawareness and resist the cycles of birth and death within them. This doesn't mean you should quit, but rather to make that decision to trust in the cycles of life. For when you are in acceptance of what is, you become more empowered to attract the outcome you desire. Acceptance does not mean giving up your power and light to another, allowing yourself to be ill-treated, or giving up on your dreams. Acceptance is giving up your resistance to what is and allowing Spirit to guide you to do what needs to be done. When you surrender that tight hold you have on the situation and bring yourself to a place of inner peace, you'll find that clarity, solutions will appear, and allow deeper wisdom to guide your way. Energy that was once spent or on resistance will now be focused on projects that bring you joy. This in turn will attract the miracles and blessings you hope for. Affirmation: I surrender to this moment and I trust in Great Spirit to guide my way. Associated chakras, solar plexus. Isis, what is your message for Pisces in July of 2020? Brother in darkness. Overcoming negative energy with feminine power. Whenever negative energy is present, it is a sign that we are ready to move deeply into our feminine divine power. The brother of darkness indicates that there is a negative energy either within you or outside of you, but directed towards you, that is providing you with a spiritual test. Beloved initiate, you shall overcome this energy with grace and triumph. Stay in your heart. There is no need to be afraid. There is a test that you are currently moving through because you are ready to progress more deeply into wisdom, light, acceptance, and inner peace. The test is in the guise of a negative energy source either within you or apparently outside of you. In truth, we are all one, and the world is our mirror for whatever healing task lies within, even though sometimes the source of difficulty appears to be external rather than an opportunity for us to gain mastery with our own responses through inner healing. Guidance comes to you in this oracle node to become more conscious of the negative energies either within or directed towards you without being fearful. There is no need for fear, there is just need for more conscious, loving response. In the story of Isis, the destructive emotions of her dark brother Set led to the murder of her beloved Osiris. He did not stop there, he also attempted to destroy her beloved divine son-child and deny him his rightful rulership. Set teaches us that destructive emotions can gain awful power if we leave them unchecked and do not consciously respond to them. Isis teaches us that love, faith, persistence, courage, intelligent, and honest awareness can overcome even the darkest power. Your guidance is derived above fear, anger, jealousy, or hatred within you, or directed towards you now. This will require your feminine strength to be fiercely compassionate and not to judge or resist out of fear. Compassion is great strength. It sees the truth in all situations and does not pander to lies or deceptions in order to paint everything as nice. Compassion is wisdom. It knows that a wolf can cause harm even if it is dressed as a sheep. You are guided to be attentive and honest about negative influences within or directed towards you without judging them, or their source, or paying undue attention with fear. You simply need recognition that, and then to respond with compassion and clear, loving, firm boundary. This boundary will often be an internal shift energetically for you. It may not require any further action than this. Listen to your heart and trust in your guidance. You are guided, however, to respond now and check the growth of any negativity before it becomes more consuming than it needs to be. This oracle also comes as spiritual revelation. Part of your spiritual path is to honor the darkness as a way through to greater consciousness, to not fight against darker and potential destructive emotions with force, but allow them to be with compassion. Instantly removes the resistance that creates psychic glue and causes darker energies to get stuck within us. Trust your feminine values, whether man or woman, and don't believe for one moment that you are obliged to wear another's negativity for them. You are not. You may stand true in your purity of heart and be safe. If you do have negative energy rising within you, the same stands true. Have compassion and witness it, but don't believe that you have to identify with it. It is not you, it is just energy and feeling. Let it flow and it shall go. The ritual healing will assist with realizing negative energies through feminine power. May you enjoy your growing mastery with such energies from a place of compassion, humility, and service to the light in all beings. Starseed Oracle message for Pisces in July of 2020. The Cosmic Heart. Devotion, potency, make your life a moving prayer. When you surrender to a state of devotion, you find yourself flowing with all of life. You're being called to refocus your attention deep within, to the intelligence of your own heart, to bow with deep reverence to your inner temple, to live your life in devotion to this place, to make your life one big moving prayer. Perhaps you felt a bit off kilter lately, sensing that the potency of why you're doing this has gotten a little watered down or weak. Perhaps you've forgotten what made you start doing them in the first place. If so, this is your call to take a moment and reconnect with the truth at the very center of your heart, to get back to the essence of what you're about, to devote your life to what you care most about, to turn your gaze deep, 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 deep. There are reasons for harvesting and seasons for sowing. Right now, you're being called to plant your soul's seeds and sing them with deep devotion, to feed them with the sweet waters of your own soul, to lose yourself in the potency of what it is that most expands your heart, to live your life according to what makes you come alive, rather than what everyone else thinks, to make your life one big becoming prayer. Starseed Soul Inquiry. How can you make your life a moving prayer? And that's your reading, Pisces. Thanks for watching. Email me. Click the links below. Become a patron, please. And I'll see you next month.